Hi, this is Tim here, and today I'll be giving a review on Detective Comics issue number 0. This issue is called Batman and the Final Lesson. It starts with him searching on a mountain for a martial arts master called Shinhan Matsuda. He goes to the door on top, goes to the house on top of the mountain, and knocks on the door, and an old woman answers saying, Shinhan Matsuda is just a myth. He's not real. So he starts meditating outside the door. And later, Shinhan answers the door, so he's obviously real. And then 6 months later, they skip to 6 months later, he's training with the Master. And he has a sword and he's cutting coconuts. And the Master is just saying, embarrassing, again, disgraceful, again. So obviously Bruce is not doing good in his training right now. Then they skip to Bruce talking in the city of wherever he is. I think it's like Tokyo or some place in Asia. And he's talking to a girl named Mio, or M-I-O-O, whatever that says. And they're talking, and Mio and Bruce obviously like each other. And then Mio's father comes in saying, back to work, Mio. So after that, obviously Bruce likes Mio. They skip to Bruce, the Master, and the old lady sitting at dinner. And the Master says, how long have we been working? And Bruce says, 9 months. And Bruce mentions how his Master and the old lady are like his parents. And the Master says, she is not your mother. I am not your father. And then they skip to more training with Bruce and the Master, Shinhan Matsuda. And his Master is basically trying to tell him to have no emotion, to give distance away from his emotion. And he says, only then will you become a true warrior. And after that, they skip to a scene where Bruce is talking to the old woman again, Shinhan's Shinhan's wife, and they're explaining that the mother says, no, you cannot have distance from your emotion. The aim of meditation is not to escape feeling. The aim is not to push emotion underground. She's explaining how you have to have emotion in you while you're fighting. And after that, they skip to another scene where he's training. Bruce is he's sort of in like a ice lair, like it's really freezing cold, and he's in his underwear, lying on the ice. And his aim is to have no emotion and totally just think about blood and ice, and to not get driven into hypothermia because it's freezing where he is. But he loses focus thinking of Mio, the person he loves, and the Master says, your focus is laughable. What are you thinking of? And he says, a girl. And he says, to grasp after love is to fear being alone in the face of the unknown, but the unknown is every minute of every day. So basically the Master is saying you can't have love, you can't date anyone. Skip to a scene where he meets up with Mio at the market again, and Mio just gives him a slip saying, meet me at the gardens, 12 noon tomorrow. Now Bruce is just lying in his bed at night, and his Master walks in saying, what are you thinking of? And he says, his parents. And the Master explains how his parents' death is the best thing that could happen to him, because he is destined to be more than a human. And then they show a picture of a window with a bat coming through. Later they skip to Batman and Mio. Bruce obviously met Mio in the gardens at noon. And they're just talking and playing around and stuff. And then Mio takes Bruce's watch, and he gets all serious because that watch was given to him by his father. So after Mio and Bruce chat and cuddle and everything. It skips to another another training scene with Bruce and his master. And they're back in the ice lair, and this time he has total focus and control. And now Bruce is, after 10 minutes of total focus and control, he's sweating, and he has no more coldness in him. So, his master says, now Bruce Kun, I am proud of you. So now his master's proud of him. Now Bruce is back in his room, and he's talking, and the old lady's saying he locks himself in here every night, like some rare jewel. And Bruce and the old lady talk, and the old lady's trying to convince him out of being such a warrior, saying, I know what happened to your parents, but you still have a kind heart. Do not overprotect it and let it wither. It's not too late for you, my son. So, obviously, the old lady does not like what Master Shinhan is doing. And Bruce is now dreaming about him and Mayo, just hanging out. And then Bruce wakes up, and in the middle of the night when it's raining, he runs to Mayo's house. And inside Mayo's house, Bruce basically just enters the house, and Mayo says, you cannot be here, my father will kill you. And Mayo says, I will come tonight, I promise, now go. So Bruce comes back to his house, and Mayo is supposed to visit there. And then later in the scene, Bruce is sleeping, and then some person with a dark mask, I'm guessing it's like a ninja warrior of some sort, jumps in through the window and assassinates Master Shinhan Matsuda. And Bruce Kun awakes and just beats the crap out of the ninja. And then, but really, the surprising part is the person under the black mask, the ninja, was Mayo. And her whole plan was this. The whole plan was to kill Bruce's master. So the mother awakes and just starts crying and stabs Mayo in the back. So Mayo and the master are both dead. And before the master dies, he says, you wanted my fortune? Yes. I could no longer live in this tomb with you. That makes no sense. Sorry. And so his master dies, and the story just ends like that. And in the last page, it's just of him holding the two dead people, the master and the wife, and they're just saying, this is the closest we'll bring you. So that's Bruce's final lesson, is about basically how dark it was and how everyone just died at the end, just like his parents. So after that, they have a backup story saying The Long Wait, and this is just basically about how Alfred is just very lonely in Wayne Mansion, saying Bruce isn't back here for 6 years, is Bruce dead, blah blah blah. And then Bruce comes to the door saying, oh my god, I'm here. So it basically just ends like that. And then Bruce mentions to Alfred how he's been training and everything and has big plans coming. So that's basically how it ends. I give this issue 8 out of 10. This is my first comic book review, so please don't leave any nasty comments, because it was pretty bad, but I'll get better. So thanks, thumbs up, and subscribe. See ya.